The sprint car silly season has been busy, but what about what's happening in late model racing? We'll update some situations today, including both the Rocket and Longhorn house cars and what I'm hearing on drivers. Plus, we'll talk Pennsboro's return, weekend action, and a lot more. Let's go. It's Thursday, October 24th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Like I said, we've been talking a lot of sprint car silly season stuff here lately, but I did want to do a late model update today. And the two big situations we're waiting on a resolution for are the house car teams of Rocket and Longhorn. Brandon Sheppard will end his time as the Longhorn factory team driver following World Finals in a few weeks. An announcement about the future for that team, which is owned by Scott Riggs, is expected in the next few weeks. A high-profile driver and crew chief will be teaming up there. We've known officially since about the middle of September that Sheppard was departing the Riggs team following a 2-year stint together, but in the week since, we haven't gotten the official word on what's next. It's my understanding, though, that the driver and crew chief stuff has been squared away here for some time. As for Sheppard, all he shared at the time was that he would start 2025 at the Wild West Shootout in his family-owned car and that they're working on other plans. Since then, the rumors and speculation about a B-Shep return to the Rocket house car have run absolutely rampant, and team owner Mark Richards hasn't helped quiet the situation. He recently declined to comment about the future to Dirt on Dirt's Kevin Kovac, and the team even trolled us a bit on social media, sharing a throwback Thursday photo of B-Shep and Josh Richards together. Josh is also rumored to be making a return for potentially a partial schedule next year. But with the Lucas season now complete, I've been told by several friends that the Rocket house car is done for 2024, which I mentioned a few days ago. Even though races remained on Tim McCreadie's schedule following Eldora, which included World Finals and the Flow Series at Sonoya, we will not see the Rocket 1 until the season starts again in 2025. And in the days since the Dirt Track World Championship, those races have since been removed from T-Mac's schedule. And it's my understanding that he has been told that he will not return as the Rocket house car driver next season. McCreadie's departure would clear the way for a new driver, with again all signs continuing to point at Sheppard. McCreadie's future now up in the air, and some sort of Boom Briggs situation has been floated for a while, which Kovac also mentioned in that piece. A couple of other notes for you. It would seem as though the future is set for Ricky Thornton Jr. and Jimmy Owens with Koehler Motorsports. RTJ sticking with Koehler for 2025 was something I actually predicted back at the end of August. If you remember, I did a bold prediction show and did 3 things that I thought were going to happen in late model racing for next year. I think some think that RTJ could be the next Longhorn factory team driver, but I would not put money on that. Just about 2 weeks ago, team owner Bobby Koehler shared to social media that they are looking for additional crew help for next season, and specifically tagged Jimmy and Ricky in those posts. We know Chris Madden is on the move after this year, and RTJ needs a crew chief, but the driver situation looks to be set here. Another team to keep an eye on for changes next year is SSI with Hudson O'Neal. Huddy shared to Facebook this week a year-end post and pointed towards a return to this car next year. That's obviously not surprising. I do think this is a team that could be in play for a chassis change. SSI was a Longhorn team with RTJ, and O'Neal spent the rest of the season in Longhorns after kind of going through various teams after leaving Rocket. But I've heard a few rumblings about this one, and O'Neal has had significant success in Rockets in his career. A move here would not shock me. Before we move on to some weekend racing stuff, I did spend a bit of time at the dirt track at Charlotte yesterday with the ongoing test that's been happening over there. I have some video footage that I'm going to cobble together and hopefully post either later today or tomorrow. And the things going on, that includes RTJ in the Indy Race Parts sprint car. Got footage of that. Jonathan Davenport testing with Kevin Rumley, which is the car you're seeing on your screen. Nick Hoffman was there in Cody Summers' car, and a lot more. So I'm going to put a video together, share some footage of that, and I'll hopefully post that either later today or tomorrow. It's been a multi-year saga to get here, but the first racing event at Pennsboro Speedway in 22 years is this weekend. The Mason-Dixon 100 features the XR Super Series late models and will also have modifieds and 604 late models on the card. The track was open for practice last night, and there will be full programs of action starting today and running each day through Saturday. Today and tomorrow are each 10,000 to win features for the Super late models, and Saturday is 30,000 to win. Barry Braun and his XR team have been working a lot of overtime in recent weeks to get this facility into raceable condition. And despite a lot of naysayers, a lot of haters, they've done some incredible work here. They've got guardrail and catch fencing done, concrete walls placed, there's new grandstands, there's a new scoring tower, and just a lot of work has been completed. As others have pointed out, the racing wasn't always the best at Pennsboro through the years, and I don't know that I'd expect bangers this weekend. The track really narrow in places, and it's this obvious odd egg shape. But I do hope the fans come out and support them. It's pretty incredible what they've done here, even in just the last several weeks. Into the future, I do think it's possible to create better racing at the track, but it would take some reconfiguration of some areas, including dealing with those bridges and those creeks. If you're going to head out to Pennsboro, make sure to check out their website or social media account for details. Because of the nature of the facility, they've had to kind of implement some creative solutions for a few things. For example, event parking is actually 2 miles away from the racetrack. There's not a lot of extra space around the track itself, so nowhere to put any extra cars. They're going to run free shuttles, though, to and from the event parking location all weekend. For practice last night, they had 13 super late models on the property, with that list headlined by Bobby Pierce and Devin Moran. Others taking part included Mike Benedum, Eddie Carrier Jr., Logan Zarin, and Tyler Carpenter. I'm not sure what the car count will look like at Pennsboro, but Dirt on Dirt also has Nick Hoffman, Freddie Carpenter, Colton and Casey Burdett, and some others as expected entrants. There is competition in the area this weekend with Bedford Speedway hosting their Keystone Cup. That's just about 3 hours away from Pennsboro. That race pays $24,000 to win, is drawing a lot of those Pennsylvania cars and guys like Matt Cosner, Mason Ziegler, Max Blair. Then there are other cars that are headed for Why Not Motorsports Park and their Fall Classic. That one pays $20,000 to win on Saturday. That's where the Hunt the Front car will be, along with Ethan Dodson and Kate Dillard, Tyler Erb, Spencer Hughes. A lot of guys going that way as well. So big weekend at Pennsboro, plus other regional late model action with the Outlaws off until World Finals and Lucas done for the season. Weekend sprint car action coming up is headlined by the World of Outlaws at Riverside for 2 nights. I believe these are both $12,000 win shows. This will be Carson Macedo's real final opportunity to try and put any pressure on David Gravel for this championship before the finale at World Finals. They're separated by 78 points at the moment. I think it would likely take trouble for Gravel for Macedo and the JJR41 to really have a chance here. But those bad races for Gravel have been few and far between this season. Just 7 finishes outside the top 10 and just 2 outside the top 20. Gravel hasn't finished outside the top 15 in an Outlaw race since Atomic way back in May. This team's consistency has been a real strength this year as they've marched towards their first ever Outlaw title. On the 41 side, Macedo has been really good down the stretch here. 7 of his 10 Outlaw wins this season coming in just the last 18 races. He's been the best driver on average finish over the last 5 and 10 race stretches, but even if he continues to stack up wins, it likely won't be enough if Gravel stays clean. 2 other things I'll be curious to see this weekend. One is car count. They ended up having 38 at Joliet, which was more than I expected. The high limit show at Riverside back in April drew 38, so we'll see how the Outlaws do. Also, I have not seen or heard any updates about the catch fencing situation at the ditch. If you remember back to High Limit in April, there were multiple stoppages for fence repair, including one where Brian Bell completely left the ballpark in turn 3. I certainly hope that's been addressed, even though, according to some of my commenters, it's apparently better if the catch fencing sucks or doesn't exist at all. At Red Dirt Raceway in Oklahoma, USAC Sprint Car season wraps up Friday and Saturday night. Logan Seavey very much in control of the championship. He leads Brady Bacon by 84 points. Bacon, the only other driver with a mathematical shot at this championship this weekend. Dazen Persley, Kevin Thomas Jr., CJ Leary complete the top 5. This weekend is also a joint show with the ASCS non-win competitors in the area. This race weekend will be the final for this kind of current USAC sprint car iteration. Big driver changes coming to the series for next year with both Bacon and Persley. That's 2 of your top 3 in points headed for full-time winged competition. I think it's likely we'll see some other driver movement here as well. You know, those guys are going to depart rides, kind of, leave holes. There's going to be some backfill there. We're also getting down to the end of the road for current Red Dirt Raceway promoters Cody and Melissa Brewer. The track is currently for sale if you would like to buy a racetrack. The Brewers are stepping back after this season. Other winged action coming up includes the NARC sprint cars at Kern County and Hanford. We've mentioned these shows a few times here lately because Spencer Basin will make his Jason Myers debut coming up, and Ryan Timms is back in the Roth 83. The NARC Championship, though, coming down to the line between Cole Macedo and Justin Sanders. Sanders had issues last time out at Tulare, and Macedo now leads by 11 points with just 3 races left. This is going to be a dogfight all the way to the end. In Central PA, the focus will be on BAPS Motor Speedway with 10,000 win on Saturday. This is the dual Kevin Gobrecht Classic and Britton Finkenbinder Memorial. This show and the November 16th race at BAPS are basically your final 2 chances to see sprint cars in PA this season. You've also got the 360 ASCS National Tour at RPM Speedway for 2 nights, where Sam Hafertepe still trying to track down Seth Bergman. The gap, though, swelled to 129 points with 6 races left. And if you want some modified racing in your life, the USMTS is at Lakeside in 81 Friday and Saturday. Jake Tim and Jim Chisholm there locked in a tight one for the championship. And the Short Track Super Series at Orange County Fair Speedway tonight for the hard clay finale. They're going to race for $10,000 to win. Matt Sheppard likely headed for the North Region title there. I believe his points lead is 71 right now. Tonight's Short Track Super Series program kicks off the Eastern States weekend at Orange County that culminates Sunday with the 200 lapper. So a big modified weekend coming up at Orange County. All right, that's the show for today and for the week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great Thursday and a great weekend out there. We will see you right back here on Sunday.